Your 3D reality will transform into your desired reality. It will make a significant quantum shift depending on your awareness of these two key factors: how you dominantly and consistently feel, and who you are conscious of being. So let's break this down and clear the confusion so you can shift into your desired 3D reality now, so as to let the path become clear and to allow everything to come to you. If you want to make a significant shift from, let's say, poverty to wealth, or singlehood to married to your SP, or anything you desire which is not your current experience, we are required to emit, to give off a consistent stream of emotional energy to fuel the materialization process. Again, you have to persist in that new emotional state, what Neville Goddard calls your state of wish fulfillment, which means you consistently feel and therefore operate from a state of love, joy, peace, so it becomes your dominant state. Now, when you're first attempting conscious manifestation, this may take time to refine or practice, because the leading cause of what I call failed manifestations comes down to two things. People don't believe they manifest every millisecond of the day because they don't understand that we are constantly navigating our world through feeling, even from a neuroscience perspective, which aligns with the spiritual understanding that we are constantly emitting a vibration every millisecond of our existence. And two, you have to know where your true reality lies within. Knowing that this is where you create from, understanding the concept as within, so without, as above, so below, is vital to this process, because it will stop you automatically and without effort from being triggered by the 3D human experience. It means you're able to observe 3D reality, which is commonly referred to as ignoring the 3D, because you know the 3D is nothing more than a collection of tangible manifestations you created, good or bad, as a direct result of your previous dominant emotional state. In other words, the 3D is the past. It's old. It's not where you have to take action in order to create something better. Ever. This means if your SP is behaving badly, showing up incorrectly, you don't entertain their behavior. You go within and you feel the fulfillment of being married to your SP or being in a happy, healthy, connected relationship. You turn away from what you don't want and go within to give your attention to what you do want. And it is the feeling which is more important than the visuals we create, which is superb for those that are worried about their level of ability to visualize what they want. The visualization does create the feelings associated, for sure, but it's not mandatory. What is more important is to feel love and fulfillment, because love and fulfillment means there's no conscious awareness of lack, of doubt, of poverty, of separation. It signals all sin has been forgiven. Now, just because you aren't dominantly operating from love and fulfillment, joy and peace, doesn't mean you won't allow wonderful things to become tangible manifestations in the 3D. You will allow great things to come forth, because like attracts like. But this is why getting a windfall of money or your SP messaging you might be perceived as like a stroke of luck, because they come and then they go. This happens because you're not aware of how important persisting in that state of love and fulfillment is, or you're not aware yet of how even the slightest shift in your vibration to a more positive state puts you in a state of allowing, which means you aren't blocking God from bringing forth your creations, your manifestations, with negativity. So, for you to achieve that, you have to give priority to how you feel, which in the beginning for me came from being mindful, being diligent about what I consumed, like what I watched, what I thought about, what I entertained on YouTube, in conversations, who I was around and what I listened to musically, which required mastery of focus. The Bible makes this clear. Get rid of all bitterness, rage and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving just as Christ God forgave you. However, As you elevate on this journey of I am, which I will go into explain in more detail later, you will notice that you don't have to try and feel love and fulfillment, joy and peace, because it is your natural state. You will naturally feel at peace, feel that love and fulfillment as a byproduct of turning away from giving your attention and focus onto things which make you feel like crap. For example, feeling separated from your SP, feeling lack, feeling poor, feeling less than. Now, key, or the secret rather, to manifesting your desired reality is knowing your true identity. Who do you say you are? Because you are a child of God, an extension of source energy. You are a spiritual extension of God having a human experience. You are I am, which is why affirmations can be so powerful for some people, if or when they know who they identify as. Let me explain. When we say I, we are embodying God's divine presence within us. When we say am, we're awakening our divine potential. Combined, I am is the recognition of being at one with all. I am is the acknowledgement that we have it all, and that is why I personally don't use any other affirmation or mantra, because I am is a complete sentence and the only affirmation you will ever need. Let's think of it from this perspective. If you are I am, you have everything within you already. So what else would you need to ask for? Nothing. You are whole and complete, and that is why operating from that state of consciousness, by choosing to recognize your I am-ness, means you're conscious of being loved and therefore will feel that fulfillment. Why? Because God is everything, the creator of it all. There is no separation. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. Therefore, what would be the point in saying I am wealth, I am happy, I'm in a great relationship? It wouldn't make sense, right? Instead, knowing who you are, your thoughts will naturally reflect your state of being. And they wouldn't be affirmations, but what we call assumptions, which Neville Goddard speaks of in detail. This is what he means by assumption. Of course I'm health, of course I am wealth. They are statements of fact which come after you recognize who you truly are. So be wary of vain repetition, Matthew 6:7-8. And when you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him. If you're not feeling them to be true as statements of fact or declarations, they're the wrong affirmations. The assumptions should be natural and spontaneous if your goal is to shift realities. It is there in that conscious I am state we know for sure that our true reality, where we create and experience our creations, is within, and God brings them forth into the 3D as tangible manifestations. It is here in this true knowing of who you are that we automatically cultivate a mastery of focus, which means we merely observe the 3D. But you have a choice as to whether we react to the 3D, because it's not final. We can change it from within because we created it all as a result of our dominant emotional state and from who we were conscious of being. So if you have created what you don't want, all that signals is it's your cue to turn away from it, to remove your attention away from what you don't want and onto what you do. Set your minds on things above and not on earthly things, because if you don't, you're going to feel into that experience and manifest more of what you don't want. In other words, you're going to remain in a reality you don't want to experience by your own making. But by knowing that, it gives you the power to change it at any moment you choose. So it doesn't matter if you keep getting triggered in the beginning by the 3D. You're learning, hence we are labeled children of God, right? We're in a state of perpetual learning. This is what we're here to do. Now, I understand, because I have been there, that this mastering of focus independently can be the hardest for most people, because they feel inclined almost through habit to entertain and focus upon what they don't want. They haven't fully come to terms with the 3D being the past. And that is why they continue to wonder why their manifestations haven't come forth, What is happening is they aren't aware that by entertaining that negativity in the 3D, or by still feeling triggered, they're blocking God from bringing forth their manifestation. But if you want to make that shift in reality, that quantum leap, again, 100% you have the power to do so. But you have to exercise your power of choice by turning away from old manifestations which have become tangible in the 3D. This is what enables you to persist in that state of living. In other words, to persist in your state of wish fulfillment. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Remember, it is thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, from our Lord's Prayer. Not thy will be done in heaven as it is in earth. It is within that we create. It is within where we experience and feel that reality shift, the fruition of our wish fulfilled first. Learning this through practice made it evident to me that faith is a choice. Faith is an act of love, because having faith means we trust the power God gave us and trust He will deliver. Choosing to have faith in my power meant I was able to turn away from the 3D and go within, versus reacting to what I didn't want as if I was a powerless human being. Choice always trumps environment. Exercise this choice every moment you can, and God will not fail you. This is why we were given the gift of choice, of free will, so we can choose differently, choose to turn away from what we don't want more of, choose different thoughts, choose to rise above all ego and perceived limitation, choose a different emotional state, choose to create that which we want in spite of what the 3D presents, despite what we have experienced thus far. And what a gift that is, right? You see, from a neuroscience perspective, which is my background, what creates an experience for the brain neurologically is feeling. This is why every time we recall a memory, we feel it, and more importantly, we relive it in the present moment, in the here and now. You see, time is man-made. It's a concept, it's an acquired skill. And for those of you who have children, you'll notice this the most out of all of us, because they don't understand what in 5 minutes actually means, right? Intellectually, they can comprehend it, but there's no innate emotional tie, and we only act out what we have emotionally learned. Hence, they will ask, is that 5 minutes up yet? Or are we there yet? So when you persist in that knowing by choosing to return to your I am, your true identity, whenever the 3D presents something you don't want or like, and consistently persist in love and fulfillment through feeling or by returning to your visualization, you'll have made the quantum leap now, because time is not linear, it's horizontal. And how do you know it's done? You won't need the 3D to change at all. You'll rest in the knowing that God will bring forth to you what state you are conscious of being. With love, and forever in a state of wish fulfilled. I'm sure you will have a wonderful day. Like and share this video, subscribe for more, and I will see you soon.